Well, new Indianapolis Colts quarterback Philip Rivers is in town for training camp. But how many fans will get to watch him work in the stands inside Lucas Oil Stadium once the season begins? As of right now, not many. The Colts are limiting seating capacity to 25% for the season per game. That amounts to about 15,000 fans per game and means downtown businesses will be losing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, a recent economic impact study showed those Sunday games add up to more than $150 million in total revenue for hotels, restaurants, bars, and other downtown businesses. Bill Benner has more on the story as we go inside Indiana sports. Bill, over to you.
Gary, thanks. Indeed, the Colts in particular and the National Football League in general are major drivers of local economic activity. But as players such as Philip Rivers return to training camps nationwide under modified and staggered conditions, professional football, like virtually everything else in this pandemic environment, will take on a much different look. And joining us today to offer the Colts' perspective on our new world is the franchise's Vice President of Communications, Steve Campbell. And Steve, welcome back to the program. And indeed, interesting times, but in some semblance of normalcy, I would guess. Training camp has opened, not at Grand Park in Westfield, unfortunately, but out at West 56th Street. How's it going so far?
So far, so good. First I want to say to our friends up in Westfield and Grand Park how much we're going to miss them this year. Training camp up there is a fantastic experience. They do a wonderful job, and our fans are able to be a part of it. And so we're just sick that we're not able to be up at Grand Park this year. But we're looking forward to returning next year. But so far at the Indiana Farm Bureau Football Center, so far things are moving along smoothly. It's obviously a different world. Training camp's going to look a lot different than it has but we've got reported in, ready to go.
Steve, talk about some of the, again, I mentioned in the modified, staggered circumstances. And so, again, this is a training camp unlike any other, not just in Indianapolis, but around the National Football League. Talk about some of the things that are taking place, again, before we actually get to full practices sometime in mid-August.
Yeah, this is going to be much more of a gradual build-up than you've seen training camps in the past. I mean, usually on day one, they get going, they get after it. But obviously, since we missed a lot of our off-season training opportunities, this is going to be more of a gradual build-up into game action, and we're looking forward to it. I mean, football is a tough sport. It's a physical sport. You need to get out there. You need to practice. But in this environment, in this climate, we have to do it in the right way. So that's what everyone's focused on at 56th Street right now.
Steve, once we get through training camp, no preseason games, a big change to previous years again. But once we get through the training camp and actually get to the start of the season at Jacksonville, September 13th, and then home games with Minnesota and the Jets on the 20th and 27th, in particular with Lucas Oil Stadium. Again, you've announced reduced capacity, 25%. What are some of the other precautions that will take place during that when we finally get to football at Lucas Oil?
Like with everyone else, everything starts with health and safety of our fans, of our players, of our staff. So that's always going to be our top priority. So, in addition to the limited capacity, 25% of the stadium filled, we're obviously going to follow the governor's lead and require masks at the Lucas Oil Stadium. So we're gonna pump out the governor's message of mask up. Possible social distancing will be in effect for food transactions. We're putting in the person contact. A lot of the things that you're seeing going on in the country and around the rest of the world, we're going to try to, we're definitely going to put into place at Lucas Oil Stadium in time for our first home game.
Steve, as we wrap up, we've got about a minute left. I think there will be, via the Colts website, some opportunities for fans to still kind of experience training camp through some virtual activities. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, since we can't have fans center. That again, that makes us feel really bad about the fan experience this year. But we'll have to adjust, and there are lots of different virtual ways that people can get involved with training camp. Go to Colts.com, and we've got lots of different opportunities to write letters to players, to nominate heroes in the community for special recognition by the Colts, and then Colts production is going to be giving a lot of video behind the access to the environment now, and we're going to do the best. All the information.
Well, Steve, we appreciate you coming on the show. Steve Campbell, the Vice President of Communications for the Indianapolis Colts. And please, 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 I know you wish it more than anybody, let's have some football come September. Steve Campbell, thanks for being on the show. And Gary, back to you.
Bill, thanks. Great report as always. But hang on for just a second. We do have a special presentation before you leave, and we've brought in a good friend of yours, Jim Morris, the Vice Chairman at Pacer Sports and Entertainment, also a trustee at Indiana University for that presentation. So, Jim, take it away.
Thanks, Gary. Bill Benner, you are one of the great alums of Indiana University. A distinguished graduate of the Ernie Pyle School of Journalism. And as you may know, Indiana University is celebrating its 200th birthday, its bicentennial. And as a part of this celebration, a very few extraordinary graduates of the university have been selected to receive the bicentennial medal for distinguished service, distinctive service to the university, to their state, to their community. And no one has done more to put Indiana University's best face forward and to make Indianapolis and Indiana the extraordinary place that it is. You are one of the most widely admired and respected journalists of our city in the last 50 years, a great human being, a passion for the Special Olympics and for all things good. So it's my honor to join with your good friend, Mary Ellen Bishop, also an IU trustee, who chaired the committee to select the artist for the bicentennial medal. And by the way, it was made from, as you may know, the student building had a fire in 1990 and burned down. And the bells that were in this tower of the student building were recast in these medals. So it's my great honor to ask Mary Ellen to join us and to honor you and to thank you for an extraordinary life of service and a great career, and for making your alma mater so proud of you and look so good. Congratulations, Bill Benner.
Well, what can I say? For the glory of old IU, I'm thrilled. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Mary Ellen. Thank you, Gary. And I am truly, truly surprised, humbled, honored, and just a little tearful. Thank you.
Oh, very special. Jim Morris, Mary Ellen Bishop, thank you both for being here and doing that. Well-deserved, richly deserved, Bill. And I'm glad we could keep this a total secret until the final moment as well. It made it extra special. Yeah. So thanks. And congratulations, Bill, again on a richly deserved award.